Hey guys. So I figured we could do another energy update read. And I'm actually not, I don't think I'm going to do so much of like individual signs. A lot of people do get into that kind of stuff. And then they focus too much on the signs and they fail to realize the whole zodiac does affect us, just at different degrees. Certain signs affect, this stuff if you look into natal charts. So before we get going, I guess I'm supposed to pull one. Yep. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So this is what we got going on the board. Just that energy is what I need right now to help direct this conversation. I don't really want to call this a read. More of like a conversation. Whatever resonates. What doesn't. Gender is irrelevant to tarot. So if I say she or he in a reading, it might be blah blah. It's more than likely. I will be honest, guys. People doing these reads about like specific relationships, like the whole tarot community online, I believe, has taken a turn for the absolute worst, and it's bred extreme codependent behavior. Too many people trying to look into the future and this, that, the third, and there is one reader that there's a lot of readers that I do really enjoy. House of Oshun is one that I absolutely love because it's more of a spiritual conversation rather than just like a typical read. Too many people try to look into the future and don't understand that you are the creator of your reality. It's a very funny thing. I do not knock people's religion, choice of whatever, but, and I don't even want to start it off with but, the thing is, with magic, one big thing I find with the toxic Christianity, I'm not saying all, okay? We're not going to start on that foot because I know this is going to be a newer channel for me, whatever. When it's in, magic is looked at, magic really is just the act of manifestation, and even Christians will tell you XYZ, like, it's funny, like people say, like, you are what you eat. Like, be mindful of the music you listen to, like the things you put in your body. Things that are inside are also things that are going to come out of us. It also depends on how well you can transmute the energy, which is kind of like that magician energy. So right now there's this need to there's a massive sorry, I'm getting a couple crystals out to help me with this, because my communication is everywhere with a lot of the Gemini and energy we have going on right now. The thing with creating things is all things need space to create, right? This is, like I said, this is so weird. I'm used to doing readings, so it's weird. I'm very fidgety and everywhere. This Gemini energy is going to kill me. Things need space. Things need space to grow. Right? If you put things into your temple, right? And even the Bible talks about that, whatever. It's their temple, right? This is our powerhouse. We have more than just the body. We have what's inside of it, the mind, body, spirit, the soul, whatever. That holy trinity that exists within. That is one thing I will say, any kind of like toxic cult-like closed-mindedness, I don't welcome that on this platform at all. What I'm saying is, the easiest way for control that has transpired, and we're not going to get too stuck on this because this is the energy we're moving out of, not this, is individuals who are very tyrannical by nature. And the only way people get control of people is by that person, one, relinquishing their control. But how did they get to that point? Typically it starts at a very young age, when you are taught what is good, what is bad, what is this, blah, blah, blah. We are multifaceted beings, right? So we develop really toxic forms toxic coping skills, mechanisms, and we throw those things deep, 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 and we end up suppressing a lot, which comes into the overruling shadowy energy, which is an energy we're moving out of. Is this, we're taught from a young age, you know, many times as a society as a whole, that we're not sovereign beings, that we're not gods and goddesses, and, you know, everyone has their divine birthrights. For us to sit here and think that we are a victim of life, that is the energy we're moving out of. You literally, we're in the shift of where, if I ever say dimensions, by the way, I know it sounds super woo. Dimensions literally, like, is perception. Multiple dimensions are happening at the same time. Like, I can hold a piece of paper. Like, let's say, like, I'm holding a piece of paper that's zooming into one of my atoms. It's a dot. It's one-dimensional. Then it becomes two-dimensional because you can see it that way. 3 dimensions, you know, it's something that's curves and has depth and everything else. We actually typically perceive things being in the... So if... The best way I can explain it is... So a cartoon would... I'm getting so off track. Oh my god. A cartoon would perceive their reality as one-dimensional. If someone that's perceiving things in, like, third-dimensional is going... someone who's living the experience of third-dimensional are going to see everything as 2D. So, like, I can literally just show you this, and let's pretend it's not on a phone. The only way you know that's getting closer to you, well, maybe my body action too, but the only reason you know something's coming close to you is because it gets bigger or the shading's different. You see what I mean? So we have multiple dimensions going on at once. Everyone's experiencing different sub-dimensions as well. And the higher you climb that ladder, the more light you are. So there has been a big thing about this feeling of eating lighter and not so heavy foods lately. A lot of my friends that are, you know, in this kind of energy, which you'll know if you fit this boat, it's kind of what's happening right now. Is there's a split. There's a split of people who want to continue to experience the same thing day in, day out. And then there's the people who understand now at a point, because if you think about the energy is super psychedelic. It's very, the best way I can explain it is like everything's just kind of like bold, is like beigey, and the things that resonate as bold. Like it's just like, it's easier for me to feel my own energy. It's easier for others to feel their own energy. And maybe that's a great thing about this social distancing thing. We're not supposed to be on top of each other all the time. We're not supposed to have this, pressure of what we need to be doing with our time and everything else. I have not personally been quarantining because I am an essential worker, but overall things have kind of quieted down. And it's not just the quarantine. It's something that's actually happening. This whole thing, the C word, which I don't, whatever. It's stupid, okay? And yes, I understand it's real, and I do feel strongly for... I don't know. Now I sound like an asshole. What I'm saying is... We're not gonna go there. This isn't all just happening because of the thing. I think that this is kind of a semi-catalyst, because you cannot fix anything unless you see the things that are wrong first. So we're moving out of this energy of, you know, we're helpless, blah, blah, blah. People are starting to see that paper money, more so now than ever, is just a fake thing because the government pulls out trillions, whatever amount of money, and just gives it. And realizes the energy exchange that we have been getting has been completely blank from the get-go. But the best way to... Yeah. The best way to... Sorry, the music just fucked me up. That's the one thing, is living in the city has gotten really crazy for my channels. Sometimes it clusters it. This social distancing thing, you know, it's true. Maybe we do need a little bit more of that space. It's that time to rest. We got the Four of Swords here. It's that time of rest right now. And it's funny to me because, you know, this is kind of like what's been happening is there's like everything we've known to be as stability is not, you know, and it has not been this way. But people are thinking that these handouts are what's going to keep them comfortable. But they really know that it's not. It's just it's a band-aid. They're very stubborn in the energy. Like if you look at that bull, we got that Taurian energy in the background. You know, this guy's adorned as shit. He's got his pentacles, everything else. And just very, like, his foot is very, he has one foot that's like hidden, that's just like there, that's stuck there, that is stagnant energy of not wanting an old foundation to crumble, which that's the thing, that's where I was getting at. That's the thing, is sometimes you need the things to go wrong, like for example the C word right now, that's going wrong, in order for us to see a zoomed in picture of exactly where all these problems are, what the problems are. When that happens, that's the whole thing about problem solving. If you look into an actual thing, pick anything in your life that you consider a problem, something that you don't like, something that you don't enjoy, and you look at it. You can keep looking at it, right? That is legitimately what this shift is, it literally feels like a split. Right now, we have people who want to continue to lie on the lower surface dimensions of this energy by being this way, right? They're just like this, the foundation isn't there anymore. And it's funny because either way, they're still looking at it in that longing of like, you know, I need the money to devote. The fact of the matter is we were taught that that's what creates stable foundations. What creates stable foundations is self-care, right? And shout out to my Virgos for that. But that is like a whole new world where we're moving towards a whole new world. But it's funny because there's this energy of like, so many people are shifting their focus with that foot, ready to just jump out into the world, like very fool-like energy, but they won't get rid of that fixed energy to understand the lesson that they learned in the sign before that, which is Aries. It's all like it goes, you know, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. Aries is cardinal. Taurus is fixed. That's the second sign in the zodiac. Pisces birth Aries in the 12th house, and then the first is Aries, blah, 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 second. So now it's like it hasn't learned how to be mutable yet. Very Taurian energy, shadowy Taurian energy. And not allowing that tower to crumble, you know, and there's just like this reeking undertone of like this fog that is beckoning to pull people back under. The paper money doesn't mean, you know, like just money is not the stable foundation. There's balance with everything. But here we are, and the whole crown of this reading is the Magician. Months and months ago, I was getting this download when I was driving a lot. When I started really first understanding my channeling, a lot of my abilities started coming online, and the freaking taunting question that kept badgering my mind was faith or fear, faith or fear, faith or fear, faith or fear. And I'm like, I get it. What do you, like, okay, I get it. Like, why do we need to keep saying this right now? Faith or fear? Do you choose faith or fear? Do you choose faith or fear? Do you choose faith or fear? Literally, that is the split that's happening right now. That split is happening because the people that are taking the time, and not just because of the quarantine, the people who are really realizing that self-love is where this all begins. Because unless you have to make a fertile ground by that self-love, like, that's literally kind of like taking the nasty shit that we've been through, and that turns into a beautiful compost pile of, if we allow it to, if we take care of that compost pile, it'll do what it has to. You don't take care of that compost pile, it doesn't have the nutrients it's supposed to. to help plants flourish in the future. So in taking all the things that we have learned, especially us who have really been putting in the work and the healing, the self-healing, which I love you for doing that. I am so proud of you. I know it's not easy. It is not easy to rewire your brain pathways, to rewire your DNA, to rewire how you live your life, to start changing your shit thoughts and start giving yourself a little bit of that discipline by integrating that shadow of boundaries, of having boundaries. Our shadow side comes in a lot when we're children and we have things happen to us as we grow up, or things that we experience rather. And those things, we run with them as adults and we run away from them. We suppress them. But when we're ready to bring light to them, to help integrate that with the light body, right? You know, like that Kundalini energy, it flows. They're like into like a 12 helix DNA, your 12 strand DNA. If this channel gets too woo for you, you know, if you have questions, ask me. If it's too woo for you, there's plenty of other great readers. I can help direct you if you want those. But I'm beginning to learn there's so many tarot readers for me personally at this point in my journey that just don't resonate as much with me, or their energy's just a little bit different, and it's nothing against them. They're still great readers. They're just, the messages that are coming out are still for the people who are early in the wake up. But right now, what's really happening is that faith or fear, right? So we're going to do a little thing real quick. And you know what? No, we're going to keep those on the board. We're going to see exactly, all right. So I don't want to focus on that. I was going to say we could focus on what the energy is like with faith or fear, like between the two, but I want to focus on the community that's putting the work in. At the very least, they're putting the work in, or the people who are very intuitive to what's going on right now. It's literally like we're in this energy of like everything is just sepia toned. It's very clear and beautiful to us, but things that don't resonate are sepia tone. The things that are for us are bold, you know, and there's so many people that are neglecting the fact that they need to create space for more of that abundance, more of that high vibrational light energy. Like you just feel lighter when you perceive things in the higher dimensions, higher perceptions, higher reality. The other thing is, this is just a quick thing. A lot of people say, and it's funny, that's the imbalance I was talking about, you know, not wanting to let go. Very shadow Capricorn, more fixed energy. There's this dismantling of the fixed, the resistance, the tug of war. We're moving towards great energy. I don't remember what the fuck I was just saying, but that's fine. There's a lot of like things I guess that kind of want to come out. Okay, so I just want to see. So is there anything that wants to come through right now from our guides? Oh, that's what I was trying to say. So the other thing about tarot I've been realizing a lot more recently, now that people who are kind of sailing that high tide on that split, right, are coming into so much more of their truth, coming into so much more of that self-love, self-nourishing, and they're just literally just embellishing. What is that word? I don't know what they're saying. Embellishing their thoughts. Embellish. What is that word? Embellish. Life of a channeler. Hold on. They're just telling me to keep going, but I just like, sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this, where is it? LMN. Embellish. LM. Hold on. Wait. Nope, it's not in here. But, like, I was trying to say is all these issues are coming to light to just, like, to make things clear, to, like, to elucidate the things that are in alignment with us. And tarot lately, it seems like, you know, these sign readings, and I'm not knocking. Right now, for me personally, it doesn't feel like these, I mean, they still have their good advice messages and everything else, but there's not so much of a need for the advice. Hence why I'm, like, kind of taking the House of Oshun route here and just doing, like, a spiritual conversation, which, if you guys like this video and you want to actually do lives and we can schedule that, I think that would be much more productive than me talking at myself in the camera. I do want to see what embellish. Hold on.